into the abyss. What if I told you that less than 5% of Earth's oceans have ever been explored? Imagine that. Vast, dark expanses covering more than 70% of our planet, and yet the overwhelming majority remains untouched, unseen, and unknown. Beneath the rolling waves, far below the surface, where sunlight cannot reach, exists a hidden world so alien, so breathtaking, and so extreme that it challenges our very definition of life itself. Every science fiction film you've ever seen, every imagined creature, every alien world pales in comparison to the truth waiting in the depths. Here, in crushing darkness, where pressures reach the equivalent of 50 jumbo jets stacked upon your chest, life not only survives, it thrives. Some organisms glow with an otherworldly light. Others drift with translucent bodies, nearly invisible to predators. Some endure environments so hostile, so devoid of warmth, that it seems impossible for life to endure. And yet endure it does. Tonight we dive into the abyss. We will journey deeper than sunlight can penetrate, through realms where mystery reigns supreme. We will encounter giants and monsters, fragile beauties, and indestructible survivors. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do about our own oceans. But perhaps the greatest mysteries of our time do not lie beyond the stars, but in the waters beneath our feet. This is the secret world of deep-sea organisms. Chapter 1. Unveiling the Abyssal Unknown. Our journey begins at the ocean's surface. The sun glitters across rolling waves, a dazzling skin stretched over unfathomable depths. This is the world we know, the world of beaches, fishing boats, and coral reefs. But as we descend, the light begins to fade, and a darker, stranger world reveals itself. The descent through the zones. Just a few hundred feet below the surface, we enter the twilight zone, a place where sunlight dwindles to a dim, ghostly blue. Here, creatures must adapt to shadow, to half-light, to fleeting glimpses of prey and predator. Schools of silverfish shimmer, using reflective scales to vanish into the gloom. But as we continue downward, light disappears entirely. We pass 1,000 meters, and the ocean becomes eternal night. This is the midnight zone. No sunlight has ever reached these waters. No human eye could ever penetrate this darkness without the aid of machines. The pressure here is immense, crushing, relentless, unyielding. At these depths, the weight of the ocean above would flatten unprotected human bodies in an instant. And yet, creatures thrive, adapted to pressures we can scarcely imagine. Their bodies are soft, flexible, able to bend and shift without breaking. Descending further, we approach the abyssal zone. Temperatures hover near freezing, life slows, and the seafloor stretches out like a desert plain. And beyond that, the hadal zone, the ocean's trenches, dark scars in the Earth's crust plunging nearly 7 miles deep, places so remote that they might as well be on another planet. A history of human curiosity. For centuries, the deep sea was the subject of myth and fear. Sailors spoke of monsters lurking beneath the waves, of serpents long enough to coil around ships, of creatures too vast to comprehend. Science began to peel back the mystery in the late 19th century, with expeditions like the HMS Challenger, a British naval vessel turned scientific pioneer. In 1872, It set sail to explore the ocean depths, dredging samples from miles below the surface, revealing strange organisms no one had ever imagined. Decades later, the bathyscaphe Trieste, a small submersible, descended into the Challenger Deep of the Mariana Trench. Two men, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh, peered through a small window at the deepest known point of the ocean. What they saw astonished them, not a barren wasteland, but life moving across the sediment. Today, technology has pushed us even further. Remotely operated vehicles, robotic submersibles, and advanced sonar have unveiled a hidden world. Yet for every discovery we make, countless mysteries remain untouched. The light and the darkness, bioluminescence. In a world without sunlight, many organisms have evolved their own way to shine. Bioluminescence, the production of light by living organisms, is not the exception here. It is the rule. From tiny plankton that turn waves into glowing ribbons of blue, to the anglerfish that lures prey with a lantern dangling from its head, bioluminescence is a survival tool beyond compare. Some creatures flash to confuse predators. Others glow steadily, cloaking themselves in a blue shimmer that blends with faint traces of starlight from above. Still others use intricate light displays to attract mates, communicating through patterns only they can understand. Chemically, it is an elegant dance. Luciferin, a light-emitting molecule, reacts with oxygen, catalyzed by an enzyme called luciferase. The result? Pure light. Cold, efficient, mesmerizing. To us, it appears like magic, but to the creatures of the deep, it is as ordinary and as necessary as breathing. The alien world beneath us. As we watch these creatures drift and dart in their endless night, it is hard not to feel as if we have left Earth entirely. The landscapes, the adaptations, the very existence of these beings defies logic. And yet this world is ours. It is Earth, unseen, untouched, and unclaimed. A reminder that our planet is more mysterious than we dare imagine. In the chapters ahead, we will see how these organisms live, how they adapt, how they build entire ecosystems from nothing. We will meet giants that inspired legends, predators with alien features, and survivors of unimaginable extremes. The abyss awaits, and what lies within it may change how we understand life itself. Chapter 2. Life in the Extreme. Evolutionary Marvels. To exist in the deep sea is to live in a world where every rule of biology is rewritten. Here, life clings to existence not in defiance of the darkness, but because of it. What may seem impossible at the surface becomes the ordinary in the deep. Let us step into the lives of Earth's most resilient organisms. Creatures shaped not by sunlight, but by extremes: pressure, cold, scarcity, and silence. The absence of sunlight, the birth of chemosynthesis. At the surface, nearly all life traces its origins back to the sun. Plants absorb its energy, animals consume the plants, and the cycle continues. But in the deep sea, sunlight does not exist. Here, life has crafted an entirely different blueprint: chemosynthesis. At hydrothermal vents, superheated water rich with chemicals spews from fissures in the Earth's crust. Hydrogen sulfide, toxic to most life on the surface, becomes food for microbes in the deep. These bacteria and archaea transform poison into energy, forming the foundation of ecosystems utterly detached from the sun. Towering colonies of giant tube worms stretch several feet long, their bodies home to symbiotic bacteria. These worms have no mouths, no stomachs, no digestive system of their own. Their survival depends entirely on their microbial partners. Nearby, vent crabs and shrimp scavenge across mineral chimneys, their shells often ghostly white, their eyes reduced to primitive light sensors. These animals have adapted to a realm where food is scarce, where entire ecosystems rise and fall with the shifting life of vents. It is life born from fire in the coldest places on Earth. Adaptations of the impossible. Creatures of the deep are architects of survival. Their bodies are experiments in evolution, often grotesque, often beautiful, always extraordinary. Many are nearly transparent, their tissues see-through so that predators cannot detect them. The glass squid, for example, reveals only its digestive organs, everything else vanishing into the void. Others wield terrifying jaws. The gulper eel's mouth can expand like a balloon, capable of swallowing prey larger than itself. The fang-toothed fish has teeth so disproportionately large they must slot into pockets on its skull to allow its mouth to close. Then there is the black dragonfish, a predator equipped with light-producing organs beneath its eyes. It uses red bioluminescent beams, invisible to most other creatures, like night vision headlights, hunting without ever being seen. These are not accidents of evolution. These are precise answers to the unforgiving questions of the deep. How do you eat when food is rare? How do you hide when there is nowhere to go? How do you reproduce when mates are few and far between? The strangest relationships on Earth. In the deep sea, survival often depends on unexpected partnerships. Consider the anglerfish. In this bizarre species, the male is little more than a parasite. Tiny in comparison to the female, he bites into her body during mating and never lets go. Over time, his tissues fuse with hers, his organs dissolve, and he becomes nothing more than a permanent appendage, providing sperm in exchange for sustenance. What to us may seem grotesque, to nature is efficiency. Elsewhere, flashlight fish house colonies of glowing bacteria in pockets beneath their eyes. They can switch off their lights by rolling the organs back into their sockets, flashing signals to one another like underwater Morse code. And then there are the shrimp that perch on sea cucumbers, scavenging tiny scraps of food while offering their hosts cleaning services. These symbiotic bargains form a delicate web of survival, proving that even in the harshest places, cooperation thrives. Hunting in the void. Predation in the deep sea is unlike anything on the surface. With so little food available, many organisms cannot afford to be picky. Some have stomachs that expand enormously, allowing them to feast when opportunity presents itself. Others rely on patience, drifting in silence, waiting for prey to come within reach. The anglerfish, perhaps the most iconic deep-sea predator, dangles its glowing lure like a fishing rod. Mesmerized, smaller fish draw near, unaware of the trap until it is too late. Squid, on the other hand, wield speed. The vampire squid, despite its name, is a master of stealth, cloaking itself in its webbed arms and releasing clouds of bioluminescent ink to confuse attackers. Every strike, every escape, is a battle between survival and starvation, a constant reminder that in the deep, energy is the greatest currency of all, the energy of silence. But the deep sea is not only a place of violence and hunger. it is also a place of quiet endurance. Some organisms drift for years, living slow, measured lives in near stasis, conserving energy until food arrives. Many fish here are small, fragile, their bodies adapted for efficiency rather than strength. The rhythms of life are tuned to scarcity. Reproduction may happen only once in a lifetime. Growth may take decades. Death, when it comes, often fuels an entire community. A whale falling to the seafloor becomes a banquet that can sustain life for a century. In this silence there is beauty. A beauty born not of abundance, but of resilience. In the deep sea, every adaptation is a miracle. Transparency, luminescence, expandable jaws, parasitic unions, they all tell the same story, that life will always find a way. We are only beginning to understand these organisms, yet every dive reveals more wonders than we ever imagined. In the next chapter, we will meet the giants of the deep, creatures so vast they once belonged to myth, predators with faces that defy imagination, and ecosystems so bizarre they seem torn from alien worlds. The ocean's true leviathans await in the darkness below. Chapter 3: Giants of the Deep and Hidden Ecosystems. Since the dawn of seafaring, humankind has whispered tales of sea monsters. Great serpents rising from the abyss, creatures with tentacles powerful enough to drag ships into the depths, leviathans lurking just beyond the reach of lantern light. For centuries these were dismissed as legend, as myth. And yet, as we venture into the deep, we discover that many of these stories were rooted in truth. Here, in the cold blackness, dwell giants, creatures of such scale and mystery that they blur the line between imagination and reality. The giant squid, from myth to reality. Perhaps no creature has captured human fear and fascination more than the giant squid. For centuries, sailors told stories of the kraken, a colossal beast capable of dragging entire vessels beneath the waves. The truth, as it turns out, may not be far from those legends. The giant squid can grow longer than a school bus, its tentacles lined with serrated suckers designed to grip and tear. For centuries, these creatures eluded direct observation, known only from carcasses washed ashore or scars carved into the hides of sperm whales. It wasn't until the 21st century that living giant squid were filmed in their natural habitat. The footage confirmed what had long been suspected: a predator of grace and power, gliding silently through the abyss, its massive eyes, the largest in the animal kingdom, evolved to capture the faintest glimmers of light. And where there is the giant squid, there is battle. Deep beneath the waves, titans clash. Sperm whales, themselves among the largest predators on Earth, bear the scars of these encounters, circular wounds from suction cups the size of dinner plates. In the black silence of the deep, predator and prey engage in a struggle as old as time, unseen by human eyes. Other leviathans of the abyss? The giant squid is not alone. Other colossal beings haunt these waters. The oarfish, slender and serpentine, can reach length of over 30 feet, undulating through the depths like the dragons of legend. Rarely seen alive, they are thought to be the origin of countless sea serpent myths. Then there is the goblin shark, a relic of evolution, with a lineage tracing back over 100 million years. Its face is grotesque, a protruding snout and jaws that snap forward in an instant, capturing prey with a speed that borders on the mechanical. The gulper eel, with a mouth so large it can engulf creatures half its size, drifts like a shadow in the blackness. The colossal squid, a cousin of the giant squid, possesses hooks on its tentacles and eyes that glow with bioluminescent light, peering through the void like twin moons. Each of these creatures seems born from nightmare, yet they are real, living reminders of the ocean's power to shape life in forms that defy imagination. Ecosystems of fire, hydrothermal vents, but the wonders of the deep are not limited to its giants. Entire ecosystems exist in places once thought impossible for life. Along the ocean floor, where tectonic plates shift and collide, hydrothermal vents spew superheated water laced with minerals. To us, these environments would be instantly lethal. Temperatures soar above 400 degrees Celsius, yet the pressure prevents the water from boiling. And yet here, life flourishes. Towering chimneys of black smoke rise from the seafloor, their surfaces crawling with colonies of tube worms, crabs, and shrimp. Microbes feed on the toxic chemicals, supporting communities as rich and vibrant as any rainforest, all without a single ray of sunlight. Some scientists believe that life on Earth may have begun in places like these, born from chemical reactions in the darkness of the ancient ocean. Oases in the cold, methane seeps and brine pools. Elsewhere, cold seeps release methane and hydrogen sulfide into the water, sustaining unique ecosystems. Mussels and clams cluster in vast beds, nourished by symbiotic bacteria within their bodies. Strange fish drift overhead, their lives bound to the chemical riches flowing from the Earth's crust. And in some of the most surreal corners of the sea, brine pools form, dense lakes of salt water at the bottom of the ocean. Their surfaces ripple like liquid mercury, deadly to most life that dares to enter. Yet around their edges, strange communities thrive, adapted to the toxic boundary between two worlds. Whale Falls. Life from death narrator, somber, reverent. But perhaps the most haunting of all deep-sea ecosystems is born. When a whale dies and its body drifts to the seafloor, it becomes a banquet in the abyss. First come the scavengers, sharks, hagfish, and crabs, stripping the flesh. Then worms and snails arrive to consume what remains. Finally, bacteria break down the bones themselves, releasing nutrients that sustain entire communities for decades. From the fall of a single whale, thousands of organisms may find life. Death above gives rise to abundance below, a cycle as beautiful as it is grim. Here, in the silence of the deep, even the end of one life becomes the beginning of countless others. The giants of the deep remind us of myth made real. The hidden ecosystems, vents, seeps, brine pools, whale falls remind us of nature's endless creativity. Together, they reveal a truth both humbling and profound, that the ocean is not empty. It is not barren. It is alive, teeming with wonders both terrible and beautiful. Yet even as we uncover these secrets, new threats emerge. Mining, pollution, climate change, the hand of humanity reaching deeper than ever before. In the next chapter, we confront the fragile balance of this hidden world and the choices that will determine its future. The deep sea may seem eternal, but its survival lies in our hands. Chapter 4. The Human Impact. Protecting the Last Frontier. The deep sea may feel eternal, an untouched realm, far removed from the noise and destruction of the surface. But it is not immune. Even here, 7 miles beneath the waves, we find the fingerprints of humanity. Plastic, heavy metals, noise, heat. Our presence has seeped into the darkest corners of the abyss. For the first time in history, the last frontier of Earth's wilderness is under threat, and its survival depends on choices we are only just beginning to confront. The silent invader, pollution. Perhaps the most insidious intrusion is plastic. Every year, millions of tons enter our oceans. Some floats, some sinks, and much of it drifts into the deep. In 2019, scientists exploring the Mariana Trench made a sobering discovery: a plastic bag resting nearly 7 miles below the surface. It was not alone. Microplastics, tiny fragments invisible to the human eye, have been found in the bodies of deep-sea creatures, lodged in their tissues, infiltrating the very base of the food chain. Pollution knows no depth. It reaches into the stomach of a lanternfish, into the gills of a crab, into the quiet stomach of a sea cucumber crawling across the abyssal plain. What was once thought to be a pristine sanctuary has become a dumping ground for the excesses of human life. Deep-sea mining, the next threat. But perhaps the greatest looming danger lies not in what we discard, but in what we seek to take. The seafloor is rich with minerals, cobalt, nickel, manganese, and rare earth metals essential for modern technology. Our phones, our computers, our electric vehicles, all depend on these elements. And now, companies and nations are setting their sights on the deep. To extract these resources, massive machines will scrape across the ocean floor, grinding centuries-old ecosystems into dust. Hydrothermal vents, the very cradles of chemosynthetic life, risk obliteration in the pursuit of profit. The irony is stark. In our quest for sustainable energy on land, we may sacrifice an ecosystem that has survived unchanged for millions of years. Scientists warn that the consequences of deep-sea mining are unknown, irreversible, and potentially catastrophic. Once disturbed, the deep sea may never recover. The shadow of climate change. And even without direct exploitation, the deep sea is being reshaped by a force larger than any one nation: climate change. As global temperatures rise, so too do the oceans. Currents shift, altering the delicate circulation that carries oxygen and nutrients into the depths. Acidification eats away at the shells of marine organisms. Oxygen-depleted, dead zones spread silently across the ocean floor. The deep has always been a stable refuge, insulated from the chaos above. But now, even here, change is accelerating. Creatures adapted to cold, steady conditions may not survive in a warmer, more unstable ocean. Entire ecosystems, once thought unshackable, may vanish before we ever fully discover them. Hope and discovery, technology and science, and yet, all is not lost. With every challenge comes opportunity, and with every new technology, we gain the ability to understand and perhaps to protect. Modern submersibles, capable of reaching the deepest trenches, allow scientists to study life where once only speculation reigned. Remotely operated vehicles map the seafloor with precision, capturing high-definition images of creatures once thought to be myth. Genomic sequencing reveals the hidden chemistry of deep-sea organisms, enzymes that can survive in extreme heat and pressure, molecules that may one day unlock cures for disease. Each discovery is not only a triumph of human ingenuity, but a reminder that the value of the deep lies not in the metals beneath its floor, but in the life that has flourished against all odds. The global debate, preservation versus exploitation. A new debate is underway, one that may decide the fate of the deep. On one side, industries argue that mining the seafloor is essential for a sustainable future, that we cannot transition away from fossil fuels without these metals. On the other side, scientists, conservationists, and indigenous voices call for caution, or for a moratorium, a global pause, until we truly understand the consequences. It is a battle between short-term necessity and long-term survival. And unlike the slow rhythms of the deep, this decision must be made quickly. The clock is ticking. A call for stewardship. The deep sea cannot speak for itself. It has no voice in our politics, no power in our economies. And yet it sustains us all. It regulates Earth's climate, cycles carbon, supports fisheries, and holds mysteries that may one day transform medicine and science. To lose it, to scar it beyond repair, would be to silence one of Earth's greatest stories before we ever truly listened. We stand at a threshold. To exploit or to protect. To take blindly or to preserve wisely. Our generation may be the first to glimpse the true wonders of the deep, but we may also be the last with the power to ensure they endure. In the next and final chapter, we will look forward to the future of discovery, the secrets that still await, and the potential locked within the ocean's endless dark. If the past has taught us anything, it is this: the deep sea will always surprise us. Its creatures will always defy expectation, and its mysteries will always remain larger than our understanding. The question is not whether there is more to discover. The question is whether we will protect the deep long enough to discover it. Chapter 5: The Future of Deep Sea Discovery. The mystery yet to come. We have journeyed through darkness. We have seen the glow of bioluminescent lights, the hunger of predators, the elegance of ecosystems built on fire and death. We have confronted the fragility of the deep and the threats that reach even into its furthest corners. And yet, for all that we have discovered, we have only just begun. Less than 5% of the ocean has been explored. That means that 95% remains unknown. Imagine the secrets that still wait below, creatures, ecosystems, entire worlds we have never seen. The untouched frontier. Scientists believe that countless species remain undiscovered in the deep. Each expedition brings new revelations: a jellyfish with flowing, living chandeliers of light, a snailfish thriving deeper than any vertebrate ever recorded, a squid with arms that curl like ribbon dancers in the current. These are not exceptions. They are reminders that Earth is still a planet of mystery, that for every answer the ocean offers 10 new questions. What giants lie in trenches we have never entered? What microscopic life forms thrive on vents we have never sampled? What chemical marvels exist within organisms adapted to pressures no laboratory can reproduce? The unknown is not only vast, it is infinite. The promise of medicine and science. But the future of discovery is not only about wonder, it is about survival. Deep-sea organisms harbor adaptations that may transform human medicine. Enzymes that can withstand extreme heat and pressure may revolutionize biotechnology. Proteins from bioluminescent creatures are already being used to detect disease in human cells. Compounds from sponges and microbes hold promise as treatments for cancer, infections, and inflammation. Every dive into the abyss is not just a journey into mystery. It is a step toward unlocking tools that may save lives on the surface. The technology of exploration. Until recently, the deep sea was beyond our reach. But now, new technologies open doors once thought forever closed. Submersibles carry humans into the abyss, their windows revealing landscapes once hidden from human eyes. Robotic vehicles glide silently through trenches, sending back images in high definition. Sonar maps the ocean floor with breathtaking precision, transforming blank maps into vibrant topographies of mountains, valleys, and plains. Artificial intelligence sorts through terabytes of data, identifying new species faster than ever before. Satellites track the surface, hinting at mysteries below. The deep sea is no longer a distant dream. It is a frontier we are actively entering, with every dive expanding the boundaries of the known world. The call to protect. But with discovery comes responsibility. The same technologies that allow us to explore can also be used to exploit. The deep sea may hold the cures of tomorrow, but it also holds the temptation of quick profit. The choice is ours, to look upon this hidden world and see treasure to be extracted, or life to be preserved, to see resources or miracles. If we fail, the consequences may echo forever. But if we succeed, we may be remembered not as a generation that destroyed the last frontier, but as the one that saved it. A cosmic perspective. In many ways, the deep sea is our own alien world. It is as foreign to us as the moons of Jupiter, as mysterious as the deserts of Mars. And yet it is here, beneath our feet, shaping our climate, regulating our planet, sustaining our future. When we look to the stars, we dream of discovery. But perhaps the greatest discoveries of all still wait within the ocean. Perhaps the deepest truths of life itself are not found in the skies above, but in the waters below. The deep sea is a mirror of life's resilience, a mirror of Earth's mysteries, and a mirror of our own choices. To explore it is to be humbled. To witness it is to be changed. It is a place where death becomes life, where darkness becomes light, where silence becomes song. It is proof that life can endure against every odd, and that beauty can thrive in even the harshest corners of existence. The ocean's heart still beats in darkness, and with every dive, humanity glimpses a reflection of its own unknown depths. The question is not whether the deep sea will endure. It has endured for millions of years, and will continue with or without us. The question is whether we will endure alongside it. The ocean is not just Earth's final frontier. It is our greatest teacher, and its lessons are clear. To survive, we must learn not only to explore, but to protect. This has been the secret world of deep-sea organisms.